Yo, welcome back again, and it's time to discuss footy like we never left. Away from all the international talk, it's time for our favorite club football action, and I am so delighted to be doing this once again. It's time for what we enjoy, and it is the FPL review. So, Sarah, it's been a nice international. Did you enjoy yours?
Yeah, I did. I had a good time with my woman, and
Sorry?
I had a good time with my woman watching the Super Eagles,
Fair point.
and it was good. It was a good time.
Okay. While you had a good time, betting expert, we were live at Uyo, doing all the work. But yeah, back to the studio. Yeah, it's good to be talking about FPL once again. And this weekend promises to be a very exciting one. And one of the most difficult times from an FPL perspective is when you are coming from the international break.
Yeah.
Players get injured all the time. We've already seen two top names already. Martin Odegaard had about 15% ownership. Expected to miss at least 3 weeks to a month. Nathan Ake was taken off as well for Netherlands. Expected to miss also about 3 weeks to a month.
And
stuff like that.
Avi Elliott
fractured his foot as well. So I think this is the only downside to the international. Stuff like this happen, especially just 4 games into the season. This is just game week 4, and it's sad to see stuff like this. But anyways, it's part of football. Anyways, these things happen. Football must go on, sadly. So let's talk about this weekend. It promises to be an exciting one, with the big fixture, of course, being Spurs versus Arsenal on Sunday. So this is an actual Super Sunday, not that one that we saw. Liverpool
was collecting
anyhow 3-0, saying that was not a Super Sunday. This is going to be an actual Super Sunday. So it was a sad Sunday actually. So Spurs versus Arsenal. But before we go to all of that, let's talk about what this week has from an FPL perspective. There's an interesting start, by the way. 580,000 managers have activated their wild card for this weekend. That is the 9th highest ever in FPL history. Like that, managers have used their wild card in one game week. 580,000. So, are you part of those managers that activated their wild card?
Me. Remember, my first rule is to not use your wild card in the first 5 games. Fair. If you are doing that, it means that you did a terrible job of planning for the season, because when you are setting up your team ahead of the season, you set up for the first 5 weeks.
Yes.
Such that if you're even going to make transfers, we said it. If you're going to make transfers, maybe 1 or 2, but you set up, you have your core that you don't
touch at all.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep changing strategies. You can't be wildcarding in week 3 or week 4. Or week 5, like it doesn't work, because it just means that you didn't plan well. Now, and I know the reason why people are wildcarding, a lot of people, is because they chose not to have Haaland. And again, you want them.
You want them.
You want them.
Before the season started, we want them.
Because the truth is, if you didn't have Haaland coming into the season, and you want to now get him, you are going to have to move a lot of pieces.
Exactly.
And that
can literally ruin your whole formation.
It ruins everything.
Might have to even change
you have to
your
change
defense,
your entire strategy.
Everything.
And of course, that means that you have to wild card. So again, listen to us when we tell you. We told you before the season started. We told you after the season started. You must have Haaland.
Last 2 weeks
again. Said it again. You must have Haaland, because by the time, even people that own Haaland, once he scores, if you didn't captain him, you are losing rank. So imagine not owning him at all. Like, you're in trouble, and you know that. But people chose to.
Are there still managers? I saw something on Twitter. There's a guy. He does not have Haaland, he does not have Salah, and he had about he had 30 points for that whole game week. So what are you doing? What are you doing with your life if you are playing FPL and you don't have one? It's okay to. It's understandable. Maybe you pick one.
Because whatever reason, expensive.
They are both expensive. They can both give you points. But why would you not have Salah or Haaland? What's the idea?
What's worse is that these people that don't have these players, by the time they now get desperate and start jumping on the bandwagon, they are causing the prices to increase.
Exactly.
Now we have a problem. Haaland has reached 15.3.
But anyway, speaking about wildcards, there is really no perfect time to use a wildcard. But for me, what I've been doing, and a time that literally sort of makes sense, is towards December, because that time you have like about 7 games in 21 days. And now there's a new Champions League format, which also means more games. So I would rather wait till that November, December period when there's an influx of games and double game weeks and stuff like that. I would rather wait till then. before I do my wildcard to change things.
Yes, and then you get a new one
and you get a new one for January, the second half in January,
which is fine. But
to use it in the first 5 games, I don't think it makes sense. But kudos to all the 580,000 managers that have done that. Hopefully you get points, or maybe you don't. We will see how that plays out. But let's talk about Haaland and Salah since we're on the topic here.
Yeah.
Now Haaland has gone up. His price has gone up again. This is someone that was already the most expensive FPL player in history. And now his price has gone up. Do you think, I have Salah and Haaland in my team at the moment.
Just like me.
Exactly. But going forward, do you think it will be sustainable to have both of these guys?
Well, if you got them in early enough, then you wouldn't have been affected by the price changes. So, but if you didn't, well, at some point you're going to have to, especially if you're jumping now and trying to get them in, you're going to have to make a decision. And we already did an episode on non-Haaland teams. Yeah. Like, okay, what strategy can you use if you're not going to have Haaland? The only strategy is to pray.
Pray that he does not score a hat-trick.
Because he keeps scoring hat-tricks. So what are you going to do about it? So at the end of the day, what that just means for you is that if you're going to now get Haaland when the prices have gone up, and Salah as well, you're going to lose maybe defenders. The only viable strategy so that all your defenders will be 4.0. They'll probably not play. Your goalkeeper will be 4.0. Your goalkeeper will not play. But you just be hoping that now in such a week, if Haaland should blank,
oh my God,
and Salah should blank, you're in trouble. Because then you don't have anything to make up. You've invested everything in those two. So I'm just going to say that at the end of the day, maybe you should go with, if you want to be able to have a balanced team with these prizes, just go with Salah. And every week you just watch Haaland.
Yeah, I was actually going to just put you on the spot a bit before we move on here. So Salah and Haaland at the moment, they are tied for points, 41 points. Yeah, but Haaland has already scored how many hat-tricks now? 2 hat-tricks.
In 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks and stuff like that. So if you were to pick only one, if you could have only one of these 2 superstars in your FPL team, who would it be and why?
Well, if I had to make a choice, and maybe I don't have much wiggle room.
Yeah, you can only pick one.
I'd probably go with Salah, and here's why. Salah is a midfielder.
Yeah.
Every goal Salah scores brings more points than every goal Haaland scores. So if Salah scores 1 goal and assists, he probably comes back with the same points that Haaland will get for 2 goals. Another thing is clean sheet points. If Liverpool keep a clean sheet, Salah gets an extra point being a midfielder. Haaland doesn't have that opportunity. So you are getting more value by having a midfielder and
like Salah is more involved in the all-round play than Haaland.
Yeah, so he's going to probably give you more points because of the fact that he'll probably get clean sheet points. He's probably going to get, he's going to get more points for every time he scores. And you know that Salah scores like a lot. Obviously not on Haaland's level.
Yeah.
But if he's not scoring, he's assisting. Haaland you are there for the goals. He's probably not going to assist.
Yeah.
But those goals, you are there for them. So if Haaland is not scoring, you may not get any value.
Fair enough.
If Salah, but the only downside is that every time Haaland scores or does something and you don't have him, maybe Salah doesn't do as much, I'm sorry, you're in trouble. That's just the only problem. But in such a situation, I'll go with Salah.
Fair enough. I think I'll actually agree with you because when you have a Liverpool side that, Luis Diaz, Jota can score, Salah can easily assist.
Yeah, and Salah takes penalties.
Penalties as well. And when you look at the fact that Haaland has already scored 2 hat-tricks this season, but yet him and Salah are tied for points.
Yeah.
That explains what you were saying.
Exactly.
So I think if it was down to it, if I could only pick one, I have to go. If I could only pick one, I'll pick Salah. So moving away from Haaland and Salah here, let's go on to those players that don't really get as much buzz as Haaland and Salah, but they still do their little bits to deliver every game week. So ahead of game week 4, who are those differentials that you think, aside Haaland and Salah, that people should also try and look at for this weekend?
I'm looking at 2 specific games. Wolves versus Newcastle. Yes, Newcastle are away. Their away record against Wolves specifically is not very good. But Wolves are defensively dire. Yeah. We saw what Chelsea did to them. They don't look good and they've not won any game so far this season. I think they are there for the taking. And I think that's a game you should look at. Maybe Gordon, but Gordon still seems a bit too expensive for a differential. But still, I mean, if you could just go for him. Second one I'm looking at is the Aston Villa game at home against Everton. Everton are dead last, 3 defeats in 3, and they're going away to Aston Villa, who need to get points on board at this point before the Champions League rolls in and the fixtures get very. So I think that Aston Villa will win it. Very straightforward win. And I think Rodgers at 5.1 is a must-have. A must-have. You know, I think that's the person. Yeah. So I think those two for me. Those are the 2 fixtures I'm looking at. For me,
I'm looking at Danny Welbeck. Brighton take on Ipswich.
Yeah.
Brighton at home against Ipswich. I see Welbeck or is Mitoma fit?
Yeah.
I'm seeing Welbeck. I just know I'm seeing Welbeck getting a goal return or something.
Yeah.
Him getting a goal.
And people will probably go for other players. So Welbeck is the one.
And my next one is West Ham. They are taking, although they are playing against Fulham at home, it's a tricky game, but I think Bowen will do something in that game. Bowen is still going to do something. At the moment, I can't really call any defender a differential because the way this Premier League is, clean sheets are going to be as hard as anything else.
That's why all my defenders are 4.0.
So I really don't have any defender to call as a differential, but Welbeck and Jarrod Bowen, I think they have something from me this weekend.
Yeah,
great to have those four players: Salah, Haaland, Welbeck, and Bowen. They'll be my team this weekend. Anyways, that's all we have for you in today's episode. Don't forget to join us in the conversations below. Who are you going to have in your FPL team? What strategies are you looking at? Are you one of those managers to have used your wildcard as well? And also tell us in the comment section where you are on our Betting Expert Nigeria FPL group. For those that have joined already, we are looking to see who the next manager of the month will be. Definitely not Cerebroné, but probably it might be me, it might be you, or it might be anyone else out there. Until we come your way next time on Betting Expert Nigeria, it's been a blast for myself and Sarah. Stay cool.